Hola Marina, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, Ben, pues fenomenal. ¿Tú qué tal?
Pues mejor ahora. I'm going to let you into a little secret today. This is take 327 because just as we started recording today, a man with a strimmer. I wonder if strimmer's the same in UK English, US English, but we're going to tell you the Spanish now. It's a great word. A strimmer came and started cutting the grass outside.
What's the Spanish word?
Desbrozadora.
Ah, okay.
Una
Good.
desbrozadora. Mira, better Spanish than
I
my
didn't
wife.
know
Pretty
that.
good, eh? That's because I had to use one once, and that's quite connected with today's episode,
Yeah,
right?
it is indeed.
Yeah, so una desbrozadora is a strimmer in Spanish, right? Now look, we're going to start with a real Spanish superstar, and then we're going to get into a bit of a challenge, and then some more real Spanish at the end, right?
Okay.
Tiene buena pinta, no?
Tiene
looks good.
muy buena
Tiene
pinta.
muy buena pinta. That's a great way of saying it looks good, and it's one of our real Spanish phrases at the end. So, this is the show where we teach you the real Spanish you're never going to find in the big name apps and the textbooks, so you are incredibly good at Spanish and impress people all over the world when you go and talk to them. Now, an example of that is a real Spanish superstar called Toby, right? Who left us a comment the other day saying, the entire reason that I began studying Spanish and now study Italian is totally because I love to chat to people when I travel to Spanish-speaking countries. It completely changed my travel experiences. Not quite there yet in Italian, but working on it. Well, I mean...
That's a superstar for me.
Yeah. You're all superstars if you follow notes in Spanish, but a real superstar here because it's all about going out and talking to people and using this Spanish that we teach you. So fantastic. Now, this leads us on to a challenge that we've heard often, right? Which is, how can I talk about deeper things in Spanish beyond chit-chat? Okay, so we're going to answer that question quickly so that you start doing that, and then we're going to get to some more real Spanish phrases. Marina,
Perfect.
ideas. How can people go beyond chit-chat to deeper Spanish?
It would be interesting to expand your range of topics. For that, I suggest you use films, books, or documentaries on subjects, specific subjects that you are interested in.
Yep, TED Talks. There's lots of TED Talks in Spanish as well. Yeah, so dive into any of those. Reading, documentaries. Align your Spanish with your interests. This is point 2. Align your Spanish with your interests. So I am learning to paint watercolors these days. What do? I end up following Instagrammers who are Spanish or from South America, who are amazing painters. And when I read their posts, I pick up Spanish about watercolors. I watch YouTube things about this. So whether your interest is football or basketball or I don't know, flower arranging, whatever it is, trekking, we'll talk about that in a minute, go and dive into some material about that, and you're going to deepen your Spanish in that direction, and you're going to be interested in it because you are interested in it in your own language. Next.
If you live in a Spanish-speaking country or you travel often to a Spanish-speaking country, we suggest you join some groups or activities, for example, a yoga class or a trekking group. Yeah,
yoga class. I went to a yoga class when I was quite fresh in Madrid, maybe 1 or 2 years in. And the instructor, this lady, started saying, pon las manos en los glúteos. Put your hands on your glúteos. And I was like, what is a glúteo? I've never heard that word in my life. And then nalgas. Put your hands on your nalgas. So I had to look around the room and see where people were putting their hands. And it turned out that your glúteos is your buttocks. So that was a way of going a bit deeper into anatomical Spanish. So the point is, go and do things. Go and do things. And nalgas is the same, no?
Yes.
Right, nalgas, glúteos, buttocks. You'll be glad that you tuned in today to learn those 2 words in Spanish. And so yeah, if you live here, dive in, go and rent a strimmer. Then you'll know what desbrozadora is in Spanish, which Marina didn't know. Haha, 10 points for me, right? What else can people do to get deep in Spanish? The number one.
You can listen to all of our podcasts. We have a huge number of episodes on a wide range of topics with vocab and expressions listed underneath for you to learn lots. Yeah,
I love something that I love about Notes in Spanish. I call it real Spanish depth. We want you to get deep in Spanish. So we cover in our podcasts, in all of the levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced, the separate podcasts for each one. We cover psychology, we cover philosophy, education, culture, sociology, Spanish culture, history, you name it, we've covered it. So you're going to go
sports,
really deep by going through our podcasts. And, you know, if you pick up the worksheets as well, we list the most important words and phrases from every episode that you need to know. So you can get those in our whole enchilada pack. So what we did is we decided to pick one of our podcasts.
Yes.
This is Advanced Season 3, Episode 1.
Called Montaña Arriba.
Going up the mountain. Marina went up a mountain and she talked about it in that episode. And so here's an example. Trekking. I think most Notes in Spanish listeners like a walk in beautiful nature. So here's some vocab from that. This is the real Spanish section. How would you say a walk in that kind of walk in nature, trekking?
Una caminata. Or
Yeah.
la caminata.
Yeah, una caminata. So you might say, we went on a 2-hour walk. How would you say that?
Hemos hecho una caminata de 2 horas.
Yeah, and we probably, do you know this word? We were probably wearing our rucksack on our backs. What is a rucksack in Spanish?
Una mochila.
Muy
La
bien.
mochila.
Okay, another test for you guys. The poles you use when you're walking up a mountain, do you know what they are in Spanish? Hang on. Son?
Los bastones.
Yes, the poles. Okay. And maybe you're going to go and stay in a mountain refuge, which in Spanish is?
Un refugio de montaña.
Yep. And, okay, Marina found that day, walking up the mountain was a massive challenge. Challenge in Spanish, we would say un reto. But if we wanted to say it was a massive challenge, you'd say?
Fue un retazo.
Yep, un retazo. It
O
was
un gran reto. Un retazo es un poco informal.
yeah, retazo is informal, it's more slang, but you know, sounds good.
Yes.
If you come over here and start saying un retazo, people are going to go, wow, your Spanish is very good. Who taught you that? And you say, Ben and Marina. Okay, so finally we had this phrase which also came out of this podcast, which was,
Tiene muy buena pinta.
it looks really good. Now, it looks really, tiene muy buena pinta, you could use it for a lot of things.
Yes, with food, with a film.
We might be deciding which film to watch. We have a look at a review for one and we say, it looks good. Tiene buena
A
pinta.
hotel or a restaurant as well.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Anything you want to say looks good, you can use that. Okay.
The Strimmer is
I
back.
can hear the Desbrozadora outside again. I'm going to go and echarle una bronca al hombre. Give him a telling off now. He's making it look lovely outside, so absolutely not. Right. All of these words and phrases are listed under the video. What would we like everyone to do today? Leave us a comment, no?
Yes, do please leave us a comment and tell us what would you like to go deep at? What kind of topic?
Yeah, or what have you gone deep at? Maybe you can say, well, do you know what? I've got pretty good Spanish about this topic because it's what I'm interested in. Or my football Spanish is great, my painting Spanish is great, whatever. Do let us know. Or, as Marina said, what you'd like to know more about. And maybe we can point you in the direction of one of our podcasts. So yeah, go also and join our newsletter if you haven't yet. You will get our free report, How to Get Fluent Fast in Spanish, which is brilliant. It has lots of tips for going deep on Spanish as well. ¿Y está? ¿Algo más?
Nada más, nos vemos la semana que
Nos
viene.
vemos la semana que viene.
Hasta luego.